my daggers. Except I don't really have daggers, so I'm using butter knives. Alright, I'm gonna put these down now. Anyways, hi everybody, I'm Tiffany, and if you haven't guessed or don't know who in the world I am portraying, which was Vin, by the way, I will be doing a book review on The Well of Ascension. Woo! The Well of Ascension. Such a good book, guys. But Vin is the main character of this book who wears a mist cloak. So this is The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, and it is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy. Well, the series, it has multiple trilogy sets in it. This is the second book in the first set of trilogies, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I just finished it a day ago. Unfortunately, if you haven't read the first book, I suggest you don't watch this at all, because it is very hard not to spoil the first book when talking about the second book. So if you haven't read the first book, I suggest you do. I know some of you are like, why in the world are you doing the second book first then, if there's a first book? Well, because I read the first book back in January. You know how hard it is for me to remember every little detail about that book. So I'm starting with the second one. I'm really sorry. But I can give you a brief summary for people who are interested. This is a fantasy series. Their books are long, but I think it's actually a really good introductory series because it's really easy to read. All the characters are lovable. Just the whole world is great. And if you love world building and stuff like that, it's definitely a wonderful, wonderful series to read. You should read this. Just read it. It's amazing. This is the first book. Whoa, Mistborn. Woo! I guess the summary I can say is it's about the main character, Vin, who I'm kind of portraying-ish. It follows her character, Vin, who's like a thief in this world. They live under a person called the Lord Ruler, who's like all immortal and is basically a tyrant. She joins up with this crew that their goal is to take down the Lord Ruler and destroy him. And there's also this whole magic system that comes into play called allomancy. And there's a chosen few who can swallow certain metals, and they'll give them special powers. But again, it's only specific people, and it's only certain metals. It is not every metal in the universe. It's really cool. Definitely should check it out. That's the best description I can give you without spoiling every little thing. So go read it. It's amazing. Especially if you love fantasy, you should read this. If you haven't read fantasy, it's a great introductory book, I think. It is long, but it goes fast, and it's very easy to read, unlike some fantasies can be with, you know, new vocabulary and everything. It can be a little daunting. Now I'm going to talk about The Well of Ascension, so people who haven't read the first book, bye! And I'm actually just going to really jump into spoilers. People who haven't read the second book or read the first book, this one is still amazing. I think I like the first book a little bit more. This book is fantastic. I like certain elements of this way better. I think it's just because this tone is definitely lighter and this tone is darker. I think there are so many things I need to talk about, so I'm going to jump right into the spoiler section. So bye people who haven't read book 2. Thanks for joining me. Come back when you have read it, and then we can discuss and rant and wonderful stuff. I decided that for every book I'm going to do, I'm going to give you like the Goodreads rating and stuff like that, because that's my main thing that I go off of. It goes off of a 5-star rating. I like percentage rating better, but you know what? Goodreads is an awesome app. So The Well of Ascension got a 4.34 on Goodreads compared to a 4.41 on the first book, I believe. So it got a 4.34 on Goodreads, which is like, that means it is a mind-blowing book if a book is that high. Alright, first of all, the opening scene in this book, I'm like, Vin is back and she's kicking butt. She has to take down like 8 assassins the first time we see her again, and I'm like, go girl. She's super strong and awesome. Love Vin. My jacket is falling off. But that was such a great opening scene with Vin because she kicks butt, and she is amazing, and it's nice to see that. Every single action scene in here was just amazing. I always looked forward to an action scene because it was so cool. And it was great to see all the different characters again. I loved Ham in the first book. I grew to love him even more in this book. I'm like, it's Ham. He's so awesome. Ham probably might be my favorite character. I love Vin and I love Ellen, but Ham, he's so fun, and he has a optimism that a lot of the others lose, I think. He just maintains the sense of optimism that I really like about him. Damn. Well, there's plenty of twists, but let's talk about the one that hurt the most, okay? And that's with the Conjure. I'm going to take you through my process of thinking through this entire book because it kept me paranoid throughout this entire thing. You see the bones, and automatically part of you's like, no, one of the crew, your favorite character, might be dead. But then I started thinking about it, and anybody really on the crew is just way too obvious because they mention it right off the bat, so you're kind of expecting that. So I started thinking, and I was like, what if it's Demu? Like, this guy, he's part of the guard. He is in pretty much every single meeting they have guarding the door. Why not it be him? He can get all that information without actually being technically part of the crew. So I have a set, it's Demu. But then once again, Vin comes to that conclusion. And I'm happy that she came to that conclusion, because I'm like, oh my gosh, am I right? Because my theories are never right, guys. But then once Vin mentioned it, again, my brain's like, it's halfway through the book. Why would they reveal it halfway through the book if it's going to be this recurring thing? Okay, so no, it's not Demu. Sadness, I thought I had that. So I'm like, is it really going to be one of the crew members? It's not surprising because he killed Kelsier in the first book. I was getting frustrated because I had no idea who in the world this conjurer was. And then it came. Like, I thought there is no way Brandon Sanderson could fool me. Whoever it's gonna be, I'm gonna be like, I was partially expecting him. No. It ended up being Vince Conjura, who was in dog form, was a fake other Conjura. And I was like, what? The one thing I did not expect. And the thing is, you grew to love Orosur. You bonded with him. He was in a dog form, and you grew to love him. And you were like, that's my Orosur. And it wasn't Orosur, it was Tensoon. And I felt betrayed. Even when Tensoon helped out at the end with Zane, no. I'm still happy he helped because Vin would be dead if he didn't. But it just, it sucks. I give a round of applause to Brandon Sanderson, who can make me not guess stuff at all, like even when I think I got it. So the next thing I want to talk about is Zane, actually, now that we mentioned Zane. So I kind of liked him at first. I was reading about the Watcher, and then you're introduced to him, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna be the bad boy, and it's gonna be this whole love triangle between Vin and Ellen and Zane, and it's gonna be awesome. But then I got to his chapter, and it started out with God said kill him, and I was like, okay, never mind. Okay, Zane's not stable. Zane is not stable. No, he is not. But he just started getting worse and worse throughout the book, and by the end of this, I hated him and wanted him gone. And the way he was manipulating Vin was so frustrating. I wanted to, like, hit Vin on the head. Vin, wake up! Where are your senses right now? I'm glad he's gone in this, and that Vin killed him, because he was just creepy. The sad thing was, I envisioned Jared Leto as Zane at the beginning. I envisioned different actors for different parts. That's how I view it, and it kind of makes a movie in my head. It fit, though. He plays the Joker now, so it fit. I would like to talk about Ellen at the end, and I am proud of this because Ellen becomes a Mistborn. This is awesome. It's a Mistborn couple. Yay! And then also, I was able to actually guess it before it happened. Guys, that never happens in a book. And I figured this out because there were sentences in there. I'm like, he's got to be using Allomancy or something. Think about it, because when he's talking to Spook, right? Spook is like, why are we even doing this? You know, they're probably already dead. Luther is already taken. And Ellen gets frustrated and just goes, no, Spook, you gotta believe. And then Spook switches his tone like that automatically. And he's like, okay, I feel confident again. And then Ellen says he was surprised how he could soothe him so quickly, soothe Spook so quickly. And I was like, use Allomancy. There were hints at least dropped that he was gonna get Allomantic powers with the soothing. And when he beat the Kolos or whatever, I'm like, is he using pewter without him knowing it? I'm proud that I picked that up before it actually happened. Woo! Let's talk about the ending. That changed everything for this third book, because we always assumed that the Hero of Ages was going to release this Well of Ascension thing. And Brandon Sanderson turned that completely upside down with "you weren't supposed to." And it was all fabricated. Everything I believed has been a lie. So now Vin has released this thing. What happened? She's supposed to be the Hero of Ages. I don't think there's a Hero of Ages. I started reading this, actually. If there is one, I don't think it's who people will expect it to be at all. I knew people were going to die because he killed Kelsier, so you know he's going to kill people. I thought for some reason, though, Elend was going to die, and he almost did. Vin constantly goes on throughout it saying, she needs Elend, she needs him to be alive, for her to be okay. A part of me, the evil side would be, you kill Elend and Vin goes into a complete downward spiral. Or it makes her more powerful in a way, like anger unleashes something inside her. Elend survived, and I'm happy he did survive. I like him being a Mistborn, that excited me, but I don't know what that's going to do to their relationship. And I'm a little bit worried because it was nice having Vin being the super duper strong person and Elend kind of being, but strong in a different way. He didn't have to rely on powers, is what I'm saying. Vin was the person who kicked everybody's butt. So I don't think that needs to change that much, and I feel like him being a Mistborn might change that. But let's talk about the deaths. Doxin and Clubs. I didn't cry or anything like that, and I think people were more like isolated towards Doxin in this book because he's a lot more distant. He lost that spirit when Kelsier died. For me though, I still stayed attached to Doxin and Clubs, and I think it's really because I envision actors for this. For example, for me, Doxin, I imagined it as Chris Pine. For those of you who don't know, he's in Star Trek. He's Captain Kirk now. New guy. I was really sad when Doxin died because I loved him, and I think it was because I was imagining Chris Pine as that. I don't want Chris Pine's character to die. Come on now. And then Clubs I didn't know super duper well. I imagined him as Christopher Lee. He's the evil guy in Lord of the Rings, the evil wizard dude. The evil wizard dude. I'm just happy though it wasn't Ham. If Ham had died, I probably would have cried because I love Ham. I love him. And oh my gosh, there's a gem on this. So that's the Well of Ascension. I hope you guys liked that. This was an extremely amazing book. It had so many twists. I already started this next one, okay? I am excited for it. I'm nervous already, and it's a really wonderful and amazing series. Brandon Sanderson, you are amazing. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this book review, and if you have any other book suggestions or movie suggestions, please let me know and put them in the comments below. And then I will look at them and write them down and watch them or read them eventually in my lifetime. Thank you so much for watching this. Read this book. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day. And be happy. Alright, thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching this. Have an awesome day. Bye!